Good morning and welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you a beautiful new custom journal that I've made for my sister-in-law Ruthi. She had some special requests and some very different themes, so you're going to see a mixture of a lot of different elements and very light colors, oatmeal, blush, very, very beautiful. So I haven't really named this other than this is Ruthi's journal, made with love for her. So we have a beautiful velvet cover that I've created with one of the bundles from Sheila Gingrich of Boho Daydreams. This was her original blush color, so it's almost a baby's breath. It is absolutely stunning. And this time I used white Craftex underneath, so it would show off the true beauty of the pale angelic color that it is. It is just so soft and beautiful. I love it. Some beautiful mother of pearl buttons with a real opal sheen to them. Those are vintage, of course. And I've layered up a few doilies and such on the front cover. A heart-shaped crochet doily, and then a round scalloped edge with little flowers doily next to it, and then this larger, thicker doily. This is a vintage brooch that I acquired, and I absolutely love it. It is so beautiful. I left it as a brooch so that she can take it off if she needs to travel or do something with it, and it's too bulky, she can just take the brooch off and it will lie more flat. Of course, we have the beautiful sari silk ties that come with Sheila's bundles. I think I've had this one for about 2 years, this bundle. So this was when she ironed her ties. You can request them to be crinkled or ironed. She will accommodate whatever you request, I'm sure. And in the front, this is actually a pocket. So I have tucked in a booklet that I've made for her. Ruth loves to read. And I have done my own little template of this piece that I just thread some seed binding ribbon through. An applique, a little label, and stamping done with the Sampool time and date stamp set. And then I've just included, like in this journalette, are some extra pages for writing my business card. She can take this with her just for a short trip, and it has a lot of space for writing her thoughts and collecting mementos. Our favorite boutique to shop in Carmel, and some more stamping, and a beautiful bookmark, just showing her what she can do with a small journalette or booklet. I didn't want to cut these off because they are quite long, but I love them. And that's the back. So that gets tucked inside the front. And let's go inside. I primarily used digital kits from Raindrop Lila and a few from the Paper Cameo, the Bella kit, and a few others here and there. I'll mention them perhaps when I see them. But it's got very, very muted neutral colors that I absolutely love. All kinds of different tag toppers here. And of course, vintage buttons, which I love. So opening it up, I did not put any pockets on the inside covers, and I chose to let her decide what she would like to do. I can always add that later. Here I've got another booklet for her and a beautiful tag that can just get tucked there. Of course, if you would use one of those bulldog clips, it would leave an impression in the velvet, so I chose not to add those right now, but she certainly can if she wants to. Some beautiful little buttons that I ordered from France. I absolutely love them. They're just so, so pretty. And going inside. So the themes that she liked were, like I said, the oatmeal color, the vintage, angels, Renaissance, Victorian a bit, and she also likes sugar skulls and steampunk. So I tried to pull some of those together. I've made her some other pieces of ephemera that I'm not going to include showing them in the video because the colors are very, very different, and I just wanted to give an overview of what this journal looks like without them. Some beautiful vintage tea-dyed applique lace here, corded lace, absolutely beautiful. An image of a sweet little angel. And then I've just added a little tuck spot there with this fold-out booklet that she can use for extra journaling. Beautiful castle. Some antique French lace on this side. And I've got a lace pocket here tucked inside with a tag that I've made using Edith Holden book page and some fussy cut flowers, seam binding, and of course beautiful little pearl shank buttons, vintage buttons. She can tuck other things in here too, of course. She can add to it. It's not jam-packed full. It's giving her an idea of what she can use. I have made several items for her over the years that she keeps in a special spot, which is a real honor to me that she thinks that much of what I make for her. And this one hopefully will be added to her collection. So she knows how to use journals. She's an avid journaler. This is a little journaling card that I've made using some vintage buttons and antique French lace, fussy cut flower from Odosuna Anne, vintage ladies, those are ruby and pearl, and some parchment paper on the back. You have to pardon me if I don't pronounce things correctly. I don't claim to be perfect by any means. Some beautiful French applique, or vintage applique, and a small journaling tag from the Raindrop Lilac kit. I think it's the Peachy kit. I think that's what it's called. Some beautiful avocado dyed paper with rose gold metallic droplets on it. I love this. I love this page. Those roses are just so absolutely beautiful. And this lace Ruth requested as well. She'd seen me use it in other projects, and fortunately I had some. I just tea dye it. It starts out as white. These are little tags, journaling cards that I've made before, and she also liked this one. She can write on the back. All of the ephemera can be removed and written on and then added back in wherever she would like it. It doesn't have to stay in that one spot. These beautiful vintage shank buttons are pink or peachy pink. Just so perfect with this journal. And then I've got some vintage applique lace on the side of this page here. And then we've got our first steampunk element, which is just a tag, and that's using graphic 45 paper. I've also done some rubber stamping, of course, another small tag. Got some beautiful corded lace draping over the side of this page. I think some of the pages are Lorna Taylor's as well, from Tailor Made Journals. Another tag that I made just using some paper, some vintage book page, and digital image, crinkled seam binding. And then here we've got another steampunk girl. Isn't she beautiful with the roses? This particular digital is no longer available. It is from Cheryl from Deli Girl. She has her videos up on YouTube, but she has closed down her Etsy shop, or her shop. So they're no longer available, but fortunately I have several of her kits, and this one was perfect. I just love it. Some of Susie's beautiful blush custom dyed lace on the side, some vintage lace. I made a pocket on this side, a vintage envelope from 1940, and just a small journaling card. She can tuck whatever she would like inside the envelopes here for some little mementos. Some vintage Bible book page, and a collage of fussy cut flowers, some vintage music sheet, beautiful image of an angel. And then here I've got this, I just made an extravagant dangle with the large pearl added onto a piece that I took apart here. These tags, I'm in love with how they turned out. They're so beautiful. This paper I've had for a long, long time. It's embossed, And I just added some vintage lace, pearls, and then this, I guess you call it burnout velvet. It's from a curtain. If you watch my videos, you've seen me use it before. I absolutely love it. You just gather or ruche the fabric along with your fingertip, and then I just added some lace to it. Here we've got a beautiful vintage or antique handkerchief with so much detail on it. Very, very pretty. And then this paper clip just straddles over here and keeps it in place. When I have a lot of bulk on the top of items, I try to make them stick out over the top of the page or as far to the top as I can go. Tiny little bulb pin here with a pearl that complements the pearl from the other page. And this lace, vintage lace, was white, and I tea dyed it. And I tea dyed it quite dark because I like that. I like to have a contrast or a variety of shades of tea dyed laces and such. Some Shakespeare, vintage book page, a small journaling tag or card, a fussy cut flower, beautiful antique motif on this page. This is Lorna Taylor's digitals here. I've got so many of hers. I love them. They're so beautiful. On this side of the page, I've done one of the digitals. It's a faux envelope cover, and I've attached it to a parchment or glassine bag, and then just put a tag inside of it. This protects the delicate, fragile little beads and sequins on this piece of Sheila's embellished trim. Absolutely gorgeous. Vintage wallpaper, and then I've added a topper with some vintage lace applique in the shape of a heart, a vintage button that I have faux stitched on the top. And she can write on the back of that. When you write in a journal like this, if it's very bulky and has a lot of thick embellishment to it, you just use a writing board underneath. It's very easy. Here we've got some more of the Chantilly galloon lace that I have tea dyed. It has the eyelash trim on the bottom, and this is veiled. It wraps around the other side of the page as well. Some more vintage wallpaper with Sheila's beautiful embellished trim and some sari silk at the top. Lots of space for writing on. And again, she can add to the pockets and tuck whatever she would like inside. What I do when I've got something that's bulky like this, to make sure it's not going to sit in the pocket wrinkled, I just kind of go like that to make sure it's flat, or you can use a ruler or whatever. Just my little trick. Because this vintage music paper was quite fragile, I layered it with some more lace on the inside because I knew this one particular page was going close to the center of the journal. So it is stabilized or reinforced on the back with this other lace. So it's going to stay put, and it makes it easier to sew in. Some beautiful book page by Edith Holden. And the center of the signature, I have added some lovely beads and charms in ivory, blush, and gold, and a little bit of peach. So, so pretty. This is another page spread that she really liked, and I tried to duplicate it as best as I could. Got a beautiful blush colored hand-dyed applique from Susie, and some of my Anna Griffin paper that I've had for a long, long time. I just absolutely love this paper. Backed onto parchment paper, she can write on it. You can also use these as gift cards or tags, you know, when you're wanting to repurpose them. There's so many uses for ephemera. It's a wonderful thing. Another lovely tag that I've done with some vintage beads onto crinkled seam binding, some antique blush or vintage blush lace, and then some vintage rosebud trim tucked into this pocket here. Also, what I do when I've got a page like this where I know it could be catchy, the lace could be catchy, I always just slightly round the corners so they don't catch on the lace as much. I just find that it works much smoother. Here we have another lovely journaling card with a vintage lady from Ruby and Pearls Digitals. a fussy cut flower from Odolcina Anne, some antique French lace, and some vintage buttons, some vintage sheet music, and German book page with parchment paper on the back for easy journaling room. And here we've got a smaller applique on the side of this page, the other side of the sonnet book page with a beautiful angel that I've fussy cut out. And I love this effect of the lace draping over the side. This particular one I just absolutely love. Venice lace. Another steampunk tag that I've just done some paper punching on the top and bottom and got this oatmeal colored vintage fibers. I think they called it twine. I bought the whole spool of it. I'm in love with it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It'll last me a lifetime, I'm sure. Now, some of these digitals I got, oh, I don't remember where I got them, but I will mention them in the description below when I post this video. Another journaling card with a sweet little tassel and some crinkled seam binding. Vintage ruffled lace with some rosebud trim. And on this side we have some extra journaling space. And on the right side we have vintage music paper with a fussy cut flower. Those are from Deli Girl as well. And some Bible page with some more fussy cut flowers. And some beautiful vintage looking eyelet cotton. This I got at Hobby Lobby, believe it or not. Have to throw that in there. On a short page, just a short flap. This was another element that Ruth liked from something else that she had seen on my Instagram page. It's actually Susie's idea. Susie's, it looks like Chantilly galloon lace as well because it's got the eyelash trim, but it's so beautiful. And I just cut the applique part out, put it over top of some other tea-dyed vintage lace and over top of some artisan paper that's quite funky. Beautiful vintage lace as the topper and some other vintage lace draping over the page side. So lots and lots of extra real estate for journaling. Some beautiful tea-dyed applique trim and another vintage postcard dated 1939 with handwriting on it. Of course, you've got extra space here at this flip out. And on this side, I've added some vintage laces and threaded some silk through here. And what I usually do is just put a tiny dot of glue at the ends so that they won't come apart and get pulled. Beautiful page here. I absolutely love this lace. I've used it in several of my latest journals. I was able to get more of it, so I was very thankful. Another gorgeous journaling tag or card with this beautiful velvet at the top, some vintage lace on this embellished, or I mean embossed paper that I have, and just tucks into here. Some more avocado paper, some collaged flowers on the side here, extra writing space, little vintage appliques, some lovely cotton vintage lace here, and a small cameo on a bulb pin. That's Bella from Paper Cameo. Another journaling card made out of Edith Holden book page, and these lovely vintage buttons. Of course, October I chose because it's Ruth's birthday month. And this pink, blush pink lace veiled over the page. This is the other side of the Renaissance images, and this vintage lace I absolutely love. I've threaded some beautiful ombre silk ribbon through here, and this little tuck, tiny little pocket, has some gold edged lace trim, some fussy cut flowers, a small tag, and a little booklet. all those tiny elements slide into this pocket here, and then some beautiful trim on this side of the page. Beautiful. And then I remembered that she really liked that image from that I used in the front of the journal, and it had the gold blingy trim on it. So I just had some extra copies, of course, of the digital papers and made a small booklet for her on the go that she can use if she would like to take it with her. And it's extra journaling space. So it's got about 5 pages in it that she can easily add a lot of writing and her thoughts to. This is coffee dyed paper with the gold splattered flecks in it. Absolutely beautiful. And then another one of these vintage wallpaper tags that I make. And this one is using Sheila's beautiful gold bling, mirrored bling. Isn't that stunning? And of course she can write on the back. Some beautiful vintage lace on the side edge and some lovely sparkly gold buttons or beads. And I've used metallic embroidery floss there. Added this cute little gold and pearl heart charm onto the paper clip. This is some chiffon silk here. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful, and that's in the white. And then this is just some sort of coffee colored netting, tulle netting that I love. It's so very soft. So that is the back of the journal. And I have a couple of pieces that I want to add, probably when I wrap this up and mail it to her this afternoon. I've got a beautiful stick pin from Sheila. I'll probably just put that one right here, actually. And then one of the beads, I'll probably use that on the ribbon when I wrap her journal for her. And that's pretty much it. So this is the journal for Ruth. I hope you like it. More importantly, I hope she likes it. I'm very confident she will. And I hope it meets her expectations. What I have as well to share, which I'm going to do in a separate video, is the twin sister journal to Ruth's journal. And it's done with very much the same elements inside, just a slightly darker blush color. I think this is called Tea Garden, Sheila's Tea Garden. And as you can see, the sari silk is crinkled, so it is different. And look at these beads and charms and dangles. How stunning is that? Absolutely love it. I haven't quite decided which piece I'm going to put on the top, but I'm leaning towards this beautiful butterfly because it matches the cover color so nicely. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed seeing inside Ruth's journal, and I look forward to sharing some more with you in the future. Have a great day.